So the new reference phono stage, you were saying?
Yeah, so it's part of the Ultima series.
Which is...
It is at our highest end.
This one here?
Yeah, so just behind me you can see we've got the rear of the silver unit and the front of the black unit. 3 inputs.
Yes.
Each input is customizable for gain as well as impedance.
Okay.
And those settings are microprocessor controlled.
Okay.
So maybe unlike a dip switch, which is it on, is it off?
Well, yes.
With the microprocessor, it is or it isn't.
And I think from what and it works itself out. It measures.
It will do.
It will do.
That will come on the. So this is an unveiling rather than production.
Yeah. Okay.
You see what I mean? We're also going to do it where if it goes into clipping with the VU meters, we'll be able to knock the gain down automatically,
All right.
and then refresh the gain to where it should be on the next vinyl if you've got a very loud piece of vinyl.
Yes.
John's worked incredibly hard on the input and output stages to keep the noise floor as low as we can.
Yes.
Obviously we're dealing with micro signals.
Yeah.
From what we're being told by the press, etc., that have been so far, we've been successful in that, certainly.
It sounds nice. It's playing behind me at the moment.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people walk into the room and go, "Oh, that's refreshing."
It is
Maybe
refreshing.
just because it's Nick Drake, I don't know. But he does have that effect. But yeah, we're really pleased. And
yeah, well, thank you so much. Thank you for the introduction. Yeah,
Pleasure.
pleasure. Thank you, Peter, for 10 seconds. What's so great about the new speaker, other than the fact that it sounds fantastic?
We really wanted to do a lot of work on some of the things that we discovered, both on the mechanics side and also on the software side of speaker development.
Okay.
Which we've incorporated in the new Evo 5. So we've upgraded all the drive units.
And that's this speaker
They look,
here. All of the drive units.
Yeah, they look the same from outside, but they will actually be improved. That's enabled us, because the performance of the drive units is now so much better, to increase the size of the cabinet slightly to give us better bass extension.
Yeah, it's got that.
Mainly to do a lot of work on the crossover, to simplify it, make it simplify it.
But you never simplify crossovers.
Oh, we do as the drive units get better, we simplify crossovers.
Well, that's the goal, I guess. Yeah.
Crossover components are upgraded as well.
Yes.
But the main thing is, which all this technical stuff doesn't explain, is somebody just came to me and said, these speakers are so open and airy.
Yes.
He said, it's like going to a live concert. It's not like listening to HiFi, which is music to my ears.
Well, they are.
That's exactly what we're aiming for.
They're very naturally balanced.
Yeah.
And they're a delight. Hey, thanks very much. Appreciate that. It was more than 10 seconds. I really appreciate it. Don't say anything controversial now. I've hit record. But when you first started, yes.
When I first started, as you know,
yes,
no one took Aussie stuff seriously. So there was Peter Stein in New South Wales.
Yes.
And he was the only other guy that was doing something interesting.
That's right.
But the funny thing is, I was selling all my stuff overseas. And the Aussie guys never believed it. They thought I was totally...
No.
They all thought, no, he can't.
He couldn't do that. He couldn't do. He's just saying that.
And when they saw the reviews in Germany, Japan...
That's right. And I remember that.
At that point, they said, how can he do that? Yeah. And thankfully, they all started to click, why can't we do that?
Yes, that's right.
And so that's where, in all honesty, I'm so happy.
Yes.
And with Aussie now, as you know, we've got a lot of great brands from Aussie. So.
Absolutely, yes. No, I mean, well, I mean, there's been a string of them,
yes.
And of course, probably Doman is the hero at the moment.
Which one?
Mark Doman with his turntable.
Oh yes.
And you don't make a turntable, do you?
No, we don't.
No.
Now, Mark's a friend. I've known Mark for a long time. So.
Well, he has been around like yourself a long time.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Pleasure.
Phone. Hey, Bob.
Just adjusting the volume.
Yeah, you've changed. We probably should get the other mics out, but I think we can hear you all right. You've changed the naming structure of your new floor standing model, but that's because you're using a different tweeter.
We are indeed. We're using the ELAC Jet tweeter.
Yes.
But because we're not allowed to use the Jet name in the title of the speaker, it's just the J.
So we've just put J on there. So this is the
J6 floor stander.
Yeah.
And it has the same sort of characteristics as the previous Momentum models, in that there's a downward-facing isobaric section.
Isobaric, yes.
Yeah, and the top section is sealed off from that, and it's acting as basically a sealed box two-way design.
So there's actually 3 bass units in there. Yeah.
And the bottom section is really acting as a kind of an integral subwoofer.
Sounds great. It looks great. Very smart. We've got
And the standard version of the J6 is the JS. So,
okay. S for stand. Hey, thanks very much for speaking to Not an Audiophile. Have a great show. Thanks. Tim from Len Wallis Audio. I didn't think we'd ever meet. Good. How's the show? Brilliant. Some fantastic new musical fidelity products.
There is.
Thanks, Tim.
I thought, why don't we work on... This has been available for 3 years now. And this is the crossover that we have for the source point. Good quality, but can I do better? Sometimes I see some of my speakers being modified online by people selling crossover upgrades. I think I can do better than that. So this is my upgrade of that, right? So I split into 2 boards, one for the HF, one for the LF. All of the inductors except for one are air-core inductors. All the resistors changed to metal film resistors, and all the capacitors changed to polyesters. And I've also incorporated the switch on the back. And it's a treble switch, but I put it in there for kind of room adjustment. You take a room like this and it's very bright. If you go to a heavily furnished room, it's a more dull sound that you get from the speaker. So in this position, it's the sound balance of the original speaker, but then you can adjust for bright rooms, that switch. And all Source Point 10s going forward will be Source Point 10 Master Edition with this crossover change. But at the same time, I've made it available as an upgrade. So you can purchase the upgrade kit, and I'll place it on here because I typically talk everything. So you get a pair of crossovers, tools to put it in, and also these rubber bundles which you can put into the speaker. So it's got control for the high frequencies for room adjustment, but also if you put the speaker close to a wall, all speakers when they get close to the wall you get a bass build up. When you've got a vented box with 2 vents in one enclosure, if you block one vent, you tune it half an octave lower, but the bass level drops, which nicely compensates for the build-up you get from the wall. So you end up with a speaker that works well close to the wall and goes down lower in frequency. So you get all of that in the kit. And there's also, somewhere I keep dropping it, but there's a QR code that takes you to a video of me explaining how to do that. Because we were thinking of doing diagrams, but I've seen IKEA with all the diagrams and people still don't know how to put IKEA furniture together. So I thought, what better than me showing you how, because you have to remove the driver, unclip the wires, remove the crossover from the back, feed the wires back in. And so there's a 15-minute, it doesn't take 15 minutes to do it, it takes me 15 minutes to talk about doing it because I like to talk. But it was fun when we were videoing it. For someone who's not used to doing this kind of thing, you have to be very careful because you're working near the drive unit. So I'm saying hold the tip of the screwdriver, you go towards the speaker and be very careful to take it out. So I'm explaining this and I turn back to the camera to continue talking, screwdriver in hand. And as I turned back, I whacked the cone with the screwdriver. And so the videographer said, do you want me to edit that out? And I said, no, because if I can do that, you certainly can. shows that even with experience you can make mistakes, so be extra careful. But that's all in the video, and so you can purchase, I think European price is €400 for the kit. So it's that's a lot of crossover for.
Oh dear. So what were you saying again about this amp? So everything is made in Germany. The powder coating is done in your hometown.
My hometown. Yeah.
That's great. So yeah, and like I said, so make the circuit boards in Germany. Everything is. You don't just get the circuit boards in from China or something.
No. They are stuffed in Germany, North Rhine-Westphalia. Yeah.
Great to know. Excellent product. Thank you. Thank you for your time. So this amplifier is Class A everywhere. Because as you were saying, it's a hybrid, but the tubes are used in the power amplifier stage as well for the voltage gain.
Yeah, exactly.
And just the transistors, just to deal with the current, basically. Yeah, it's a sweet amplifier. It also has a lovely knob as well, and more touch screens.
Yeah, so the philosophy behind the UI is very similar to entry line.
Yes.
So our customers can get familiar.
Yeah. So when they upgrade,
Yeah.
they can still use it. All right. Thank you so much again.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
The thing is, our business is about making people's lives better, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And so inevitably, there is that thread that runs through all your work where it's just about having fun, and it just makes the job worth it. And I've got little stories. So there was a lass in our shipping department, and this was actually in Turbo, so nice company. This lass had worked in all sorts of companies in their distribution and shipping. And one day she just happened to come into R&D and she said, do you know, I really like working for this company because everyone's just having a nice
Having a good time, yeah, absolutely.
I said, yeah, it's because it's about making
But
people's lives
that's
better.
the audio industry. It is a lot of
it
fun,
is.
and there's great people in it, and the customers are great. So it's
We love the customers.
It's a win-win. Oh, the customers are the best.
And that's the trouble. As a designer, you don't get to see enough customers. But every once in a blue moon, a customer will somehow find me, email or info@vivid audio or whatever, and they'll just say, I just wanted to say, I bought a pair of K45s or something, and I just wanted to say how much I'm enjoying listening to my records again. I think, well, that's what it's about.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
I love this camera. Without this camera, I came here with a GoPro on my head one year, with a band around my head.
Did you really?
Yeah, before anybody had any of this stuff, and I was walking around with the thing on my head, and because I didn't know what I was seeing, because I would hope my head would point to the right thing, and that didn't work out so well. Some pieces of
Well, I had the same problem. So.
And then I had a camcorder, and I'd walk around with the camcorder, and all these people would say, "You're making me nauseous with your camcorder." I said, "What am I supposed to do? I'm not buying a $10,000 camera. I'm not hiring crew to walk around the show." So then there was the smaller one of these, the DJI Pocket 2, and that was good, but your phone had to be connected to it, and then you use the battery power of your phone. And this is so much better. You can see what you're doing with this.
Yes.
And it's shooting in 4K, and I've got their microphones, which are great.
Yep.
It hooks it right
They
up.
are.
The only problem is when the microphone turns on, it blocks half the screen for about 20 seconds. I hate that. If anybody's watching this who's with DJI, get rid of that. Have a 2-second thing in the corner saying, "Your microphone is on, thank you." Don't obliterate the whole picture. But otherwise, as long as somebody doesn't bump into you while you're walking and knock the thing and destroy it, which hasn't happened yet, it's great, and it's 4K, and what I do is I record all the audio I want to hear on my little microphones, so that you have a binaural recording, and then I take the audio from this and I get rid of it and put the audio on from the binaural recording, so people can put headphones on and actually hear the room.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So it works really
It's a very nice touch.
I love this thing. There are things I would do. I'd have better zoom. I want more zoom.
Yeah, the zoom's a bit inflexible, and it jumps.
And you can either have zoom or you can look at what you're doing. I'd rather have both. And there are a few other little minor things. And after over time, they're going to fix all of those things.
And overall, and it gets a little hot in the hand after a while.
Well, yeah, but so do I. So it's not a problem.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much. DJI will appreciate your input.
I hope so.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not one of these influencers on YouTube who, let me show you everything about DJI, and you have to, like, a minute they've shown you everything you could do on it, but can you remember any of the things they showed you? No. You have to go slowly, and you have to say, now look, if you want to do this, and one of these guys showing me how to use, I think it was when I got the 2, and I got a different brand of, before they came out with their microphones, and he said, to hook up your microphone, do this. So I did that, and I covered the whole show, and none of the recordings worked, because he left out one step. Oh, everybody knows that step. No, everybody doesn't know that step. You have to show people, you have to make believe the person you're talking to knows nothing. That's a good instructor, and then you give them every step that they have to go through. You don't go, oh, you didn't know that? Everybody knows that. No, we're looking at your video because we don't know that. And I lost the whole show.
That's not good.
No, actually, I didn't, because thank God.
The backup play.
The backup was on the camera, thank God. So I was able to pull those off and sync it all up. But it was very annoying. So when I give instructions to people, I show them everything as if I'm really stupid, which is easy for me to do, and I do that. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
Thank you.